Hello friends, in today's video we will learn Bloch's theorem. So in the last class we introduced band theory and we mentioned that according to band theory the potential felt by electrons within a crystal is not uniform but periodic. That means if suppose V of x is the potential within the system, then V of x is periodic with periodicity A. That means the potential at a point A distant from x is same as the potential at the point x. So that means the potential will be periodically repeating with a periodicity of A. So if the potential is of this form, then if we write the Schrodinger equation for the electron within the system, within a crystal, the Schrodinger equation will be d square psi by dx square plus 8 pi square m divided by h square into E minus V of x psi equal to 0. Here E is the energy and V of x is the potential energy or the function. So here V of x is periodic with periodicity A. And if the Schrodinger equation is of this form, then using Fourier series, Bloch proved that the solution of this form of Schrodinger equation, where V of x is periodic, its solution will be given by psi of x equal to exponential ikx into uk of x. So this is the Bloch function, and this theorem as proposed by Bloch is called Bloch's theorem. So what is the theorem what is the theorem? The theorem states that the eigenfunctions of the wave equation, that means psi, for a periodic potential, that is if V of x is periodic like this, are the product of a plane wave exponential ikx times a function uk of x with the periodicity of the crystal lattice. That means uk of x will be periodic with uk of x being uk of x plus a. So this function uk of x has the same periodicity as the lattice. So this is the Bloch's theorem. Now for a comparison, I will mention the free electron theory. According to free electron theory, we know V of x is a constant, not V of x equal to V of x plus a. It is just a constant all through the lattice. And in this case, the wave function of the electron is simply a plane wave. So how do you represent a plane wave? Exponential ikx is the notation, is the representation of a plane wave. So here, if potential is considered to be periodic and not as a constant, if potential is chosen as V of x equal to V of x plus a, then Schrodinger equation will be different and its solution will be different like this. So this is a major theorem in band theory, Bloch's theorem, which states that the solution of the Schrodinger equation in the case of a periodic potential will be of this form. Here uk of x is also periodic. So in 3 dimensions, this Bloch function can be stated as psi k of r bar equal to exponential I k bar dot r bar into uk of r bar. Here again uk of r bar is periodic with periodicity of the lattice. So if there are n number of atoms in a linear chain, suppose we are considering a linear chain of atoms with interatomic spaces being A, and suppose there are n number of such atoms and the total length is capital L, then surely since uk of x is periodic, uk of x will be uk of x plus Na. Since A is the periodicity, n times A will also be the same point, same corresponding point, and hence uk of x will be uk of x plus Na. So what will be, I will just show you the image of a Bloch wave, Bloch function. So here the dotted line plotted simply is a sine wave. So you can see here the dotted curve, and the dotted curve is simply a plane wave, and it corresponds to exponential ikx, which is the solution when potential is constant, or which is the theory according to free electron theory. But if we consider band theory and assume the potential to be a periodic potential, then the wave function, the plane wave function, will be modulated by a periodic function. That is, this is the plane wave function. It is being modulated by a periodic function uk of r bar. That is psi k, the effective wave function of the electron. So you can see here this curve. This is the new Bloch function that we will obtain. The plane wave is being modulated by some other periodic function uk of r bar. So now moving on, if the relation of uk of x is such that it is periodic, then we can state that what will be psi k of x plus na? It will be e raised to ik into x plus na into uk of x plus na, right? Since psi k of x is e raised to ikx into uk of x, simply replace x by x plus na. It will be e raised to ik into x plus na into uk of x plus na. So this equation will yield us psi k of x plus na will be exponential ik into x plus na into uk of x plus na, which is equal to psi k of x plus na will be equal to e raised to ikna into e raised to ikx into uk of x plus na. Since uk of x plus na is same as uk of x, this will be equal to e raised to ikna into e raised to ikx into uk of x, right? So this term is simply psi k of x. So this will be equal to e raised to ikna into psi k of x. So this is one of the equations that we have. Let me call this equation as equation number 1. Now what will be the complex conjugate of equation 1? Let me take what is psi k star of x plus na. It will be psi k star of x into e raised to minus ikna. So it is psi k star of x into e raised to minus ikna. So this is our equation number 2. The complex conjugate of equation 1 is the equation number 2. Now taking the product of equation 1 and 2, what will be psi k of x plus na into psi k star of x plus na? It will be 1 into 2, which is e raised to ikna into psi k of x multiplied by e raised to minus ikna into psi k star of x. So here these terms will cancel and it will be psi k of x into psi k star of x. So I just did this to simply make one point. So that this means that this equation number 3, here left hand side is psi k of x plus na into psi k star of x plus na. Right hand side is psi k of x into psi k star of x. So what is psi star psi? We know psi star psi actually corresponds to probability. So here it means the probability to find an electron in some place. So this means that the probability of finding the electron at x denoted by the RHS is same as the probability of finding the electron at x plus na denoted by the LHS. So this means that the electron is not localized around any particular atom, but is shared by all atoms in the chain. So electron is not to be considered as a particle while propagating through the crystal lattice. It is to be seen as a wave that is present or that is not localized and is shared by all atoms in the chain. So that is the concept that we will be getting from equation number 3. So stating otherwise, this equation also implies that since the electrons are present everywhere, the wave function at x, psi k of x, will be same as the wave function at x plus na, psi k of x plus na. This is the second assumption that we will get from the previous equation. Since the probabilities are same, I am going to write the wave, I can equate the wave equations at these points at x and x plus na. So since we have already obtained one other equation relating these two terms, we have obtained that psi k of x plus na is psi k of x into e raised to I k na. This we obtained in previous equation. Here in equation number 1, we have stated that relation. So if you compare these two equations, equations A and B, we can understand that e raised to I k na, dividing these two equations, we can understand that e raised to I k na will be equal to 1. Then only this equation will be satisfied. So when will exponential of I into a variable be 1? I have already stated that e raised to I 2 pi, that is equal to 1, or e raised to I 4 pi, or e raised to I 2n pi, that is 1. Only the combinations of an integral multiples of 2 pi factors, when comes here, the answer will be 1. So this means that Kna equal to 2n pi. Then only this equation will be satisfied. Kna equal to 2n pi. So equating that, we can find that K equal to 2 pi n divided by Na, or this is equal to 2 pi n divided by capital L, because n atoms are there. A is the spacing between adjacent atoms. So n times A will be total length of the crystal. So it is 2 pi n by L. Here what is n? N is integer with n being 0, 1, 2, etc. So that is the meaning of small n. So what will happen when n equal to n by 2? So if n equal to n by 2, what will be K? K will be 2 pi by 2a, which is equal to pi by a. So this corresponds to the edge of the first Brillouin zone. So if for a linear lattice in one dimension, we know the first edge of the first Brillouin zone in the K space is here at pi by a. And so we will also look into what will happen if n is very large, when capital N is very large. So let us check what happens when n is very large. So if n is very large, we know K equal to 2 pi n by Na. If n or L is very large, then the K values will come very close together. Suppose if n is 2, then what will be the first possible value of K? It will be 0. By substituting n equal to 0, first possible value of n is K is 0 for n equal to 2. Then the second possible value is 2 pi into 1 by 2a, which is pi by a. Then the third possible value is 2 pi into 3 by 2 2a, which is 3 pi by a, and so on. So 0, pi by a, 2 into 2 pi in, here the next value should be 2 pi into 2 by 2a, and the third value is 2 pi into 3 by 2a, and so on. So the next value is 2 pi by a, then 3 pi by a, and so on. So what will happen if n is very large? Suppose if n is 100, how this series will look like? If n is 100, it will be 0, pi by 100, 50a, then pi by 100, 2 pi by 50a, and so on. So you can see here, if n is getting large, the values that k can choose is getting closer. So that is what happens if n is very large. Then let us also calculate the total number of allowed k values in the first Brillouin zone. So total number of allowed k values in the first Brillouin zone. So it will be equal to length of the first Brillouin zone divided by length of the unit spacing. Length of the unit spacing between k values. So what is the length of the first Brillouin zone? It is 2 pi by a. If a is the interatomic spacing, 2 pi by a is the length of the first Brillouin zone. What is the length of a unit spacing? So we know k equal to 2 pi n by na. So for a unit spacing, it will be 2 pi. Suppose we put 1 here, it will be 2 pi into 1 by na minus, if we put 0 here, it will be 0. So the length of the unit spacing is 2 pi by na. The difference between two adjacent values of k, that is the meaning of length of the unit spacing. So it will be divided by 2 pi by na. So what will be the final answer? It will be simply n. So this means that in the first Brillouin zone, the number of k values allowed in the first Brillouin zone is equal to the number of atoms in the chain, equal to n. So this is the final assumption that we will get from this theorem. So in this class, we first stated the Bloch's theorem. So we first understood that the potential is periodic. Then we wrote the Schrodinger equation for periodic potential. Then we stated the Bloch's theorem, according to which the solution of the Schrodinger equation is of the form as given in this equation. Here uk of x is periodic, like this. Then we used the Bloch's theorem to find, we plotted the Bloch wave, which is like this, a periodic potential which is being modulated by some other periodic function. A plane wave which is being modulated by a periodic function. That is the structure of a Bloch wave. Then we use the Bloch function to find the relation between psi k of x plus na and psi k of x. So from that relation, we were able to state that the probability of finding the electron at x and x plus na are equal. Then we also found that e raised to I k na is equal to 1, from which we got this equation. And we used this equation to find different k values that are allowed, and also what will happen if n is very large, and also the total number of allowed k values in the first Brillouin zone. So that is what we have learned today. I hope the portion is clear for you. Thank you.